lovely Friday where the snow is still on the ground and it's still cold outside, although it's going to get better. So hopefully it will be melted off by the end of the weekend. But our special guests today, we are going to talk about Jackson Iron Ladies Wrestling. Wrestling. Wrestling's that stuff you see on TV where that's, not real.
Yeah,
Or
a lot of people still say wrestling.
Some would argue. Do they really?
Yes, all the time.
Like the older people, like older country guys, though.
Wrestling.
Yep.
It's because we all grew up watching, like the stuff on TV.
WWE.
Yeah, all of that fun stuff. But with us today, we have Madeline Riddle and, of course, our good friend McKenna Kraft, who's been here before. You haven't been here yet, have you?
No.
Oh, goody. Okay. Well, Madeline is super excited to be here because she can't wait to talk to us. And McKenna, well, you've been here several times now, so welcome back.
I think 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, very, very good. Well, we're going to talk about all things Jackson Iron Ladies Wrestling here in just a few minutes. But first, we have a message, and then we'll be back and find out what the girls are up to.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Back. See, this is what happens when you get us girls together. We're like, blah, 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 blah. Off the air. Welcome. And what we were talking about is this weather has been crazy. And, a lot of times you girls get up, you practice ahead of school.
Yeah.
Then sometimes after school too, right? And with all this weather and stuff, how has that affected everything?
So the weather, if school cancels, they don't allow us to have practice at all.
Oh, they don't. Okay.
So here we've had a couple canceled tournaments and practices just because of snow, and then a lot of teams we've had a lot of teams not be able to make it to tournaments because they're like we can't drive in the snow. But whenever we just have a 2-hour delay, we just can't have our 6 a.m. practice, but we can still go after school.
Okay. And so we were just talking about that because the 2-hour delay is kind of, it's kind of good when you go to school because you don't have to go to school till 10, but it still counts as a full day.
Yeah.
So.
But my schedule's still completely different because I do all college classes this year.
Oh, you are? So you're not actually going up to the high
Yeah, so
school.
I don't go up to the high school at all, just for practice, basically.
Okay. So are you going to Rio for classes?
Yep.
Very cool. So our little McKenna is finally, so I think we've met when you were a freshman, maybe.
I think sophomore,
maybe.
Yeah.
And so we finally made it to your senior year. And then our sweet Madeline is up, what are you, sophomore?
I'm a sophomore.
Yeah. So she's following great in the footsteps. And both of you made it to the state tournament last year.
Yeah.
Are you in different weight classes? Or
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys don't have to, beat up on each other.
No,
Okay.
just at practice.
Just at practice. It's more fun to beat up coach, right?
That's
Very.
true.
So Madeline, tell us, so as a freshman, then you made it to the state tournament, same as McKenna did. What did that mean to you?
When I came in, I had a lot of goals, and going to the state tournament was definitely one of them. And I won my pre-regionals and my regionals. So I went in having a good seed because I was first.
Sure.
But it was definitely a good experience, and I'm ready to get back.
So what do you think, well, you and I have talked about it, how much of this is mental and how much of it is physical and skill and whatever? Because I could see where you get in your own head and defeat yourself almost.
A lot of it's mental. If you're not there mentally, you're probably not going to win.
Okay.
Because you have to believe you're going to win.
Very good. So do you walk out and slap people too? Like this one?
Yeah.
Did you learn that from her?
Yeah. A lot of what I've learned is from McKenna, and I definitely look up to her.
Aw, that's very, very sweet. So tell us what you think will go differently. So you all, okay, let's back up a minute. We'll get to state here in just a minute. 'Cause
Okay.
We're assuming, and that's not fair, but I'm assuming that both of you are going to make a return to the state tournament. We hope that you do, along with some other folks from our area. But where are you at in the season right now? Like, what have you all been up to?
Well, currently we've kind of had a lot of just like normal season stuff. We're headed up to league soon because we've started having like our league duels, and then we'll have our league tournament. And for our girls team, we're looking pretty good for that. So that should be exciting. We have a full team, so I guess that's really exciting for us because we've never done that before. But we're like nearing the end of normal season, so.
What does a normal season like match look like? Is it like a football game where you have like one team come and you guys wrestle each other, or is there like typically multiple teams come? I'm not really familiar with it.
Well, there's two different things. So we can have tournaments, which for girls are normally on Sundays, or like
Oh.
bigger tournaments. We'll have Saturday, Sunday tournaments and stuff like that. So that like this year we've gone to Columbus a lot, just getting like different looks and matches. So we're really fortunate for that, and to have like a school and coaches that allow us to go to Columbus. But so like a tournament, we'll have like 70 teams around that.
Oh,
Like, so we just had a home tournament actually last weekend.
Yeah, it was last weekend.
We had a home tournament last weekend, and I think we had 73 schools there or something like that.
are you kidding me?
Yeah, so we're very lucky there. And then we can have duels, which is one team versus one team. So it'll be us versus another team, and we'll go head-for-head matches, like
Okay.
weight classes.
And then it's based off of like a pin, a tech, and then they add up the points, and that's who wins the duel.
Okay, back up. Talk in English, sweetheart.
So a pin is when their shoulders are touching the mat, and then the ref will call it, and that's called a pin. A tech is by 15.
But pins are like 6 points for your team score.
Yeah.
So like
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more-
So
Each
there's
match.
more
Yeah,
points.
yeah.
Okay.
And then a tech is when you beat somebody by points. So it's like 15-0 or like 16-1. And that is worth 5 points?
5 points.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
so each match, they'll tally up, like, okay, if I pin my kid, our team gets 6 points. And at the end of the duel, whoever has the total outcome of more points, we win the duel.
So then in your tournaments, are there individual prizes as well?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
okay. So it's a team thing and then an individual
Yes.
thing. So you girls are kicking butt, right?
We're not
Yeah.
doing too bad this year.
So what has, obviously McKenna, you are a senior, so you've been around and kind of been there and done that. And how have you improved? Like, how has your wrestling style changed, whatever? And then I want to catch up with you as well and find out from like your freshman year when you're, go and you're winning the state and all that, and everyone's like, what the heck is this girl doing? And then, but how have you changed and progressed over the years? What do you think?
I think a lot of my progression has kind of just been like, okay, keep my cool almost, and like be smart about everything. Cause like I've really been fortunate and had like good coaching, and like so I've kind of always had more of the technique, but I think I've really improved like my gas tank and like just like my ability to go all 6 minutes, or to be able to like, okay, I'm gonna take him down, let him up. And I think also like not even just wrestling, but like just my ability like to teach and to help coach
Okay.
and to like motivate. And I think that's something like personally that I've really improved on, and just like being able to talk to people also through the sport of wrestling.
And so you're thinking like you've learned some leadership skills along
A lot,
the way.
yeah.
Yeah, and that comes, I think, A, from your coach.
Yes.
B, Brandon, thanks for showing up today. We're gonna get him here soon. It's okay, Brandon. We forgive you. But no, he's a great leader as
Yes.
well.
We are all truly lucky to have him. And he definitely does a lot for us as a
A
team.
lot.
He does, and he's coaching the girls and boys, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really does girls, boys,
Middle school.
middle school,
Oh, really?
and some pee-wee stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we have assistant coaches, and like Nate Miller and Walter Miller, they do a lot of the pee-wee stuff, so we're lucky to have them. But then they also show up when they're needed for middle school and high school too. So we have other people, but Brandon's our main guy.
Yeah, he is. And no, I think that our community is very fortunate to have someone like Brandon that does care and kind of takes everybody under their wings and under his wings, and he's a hoot. Okay, so how do you think coming in from a freshman, making it to the state tournament? I mean, that's some cool stuff. Good for you. How do you think that you have progressed just from the freshman year to the sophomore year? And what are you hoping? Like, what are your goals?
The way I've progressed is I've definitely learned more technique, and I'm just trying to get that down and get the basics down. My goals is really just to use my time wisely. Like, I don't want to look back and be like, I wasted so much time worrying about winning. And when I got to the state tournament, I did lose a couple of my matches, and it just really showed me that I have a limited time in this sport, and I want to appreciate every moment. And just
Oh, I love that.
because I took a little break, and I came back, and it made me realize how much I love this sport and how much it does for me, and it's really changed my life.
Very good. So tell me, when did you all know? Well, I know you grew up with brothers, so like they were wrestlers too, and so that's kind of how you got into it. But how did you know? Like, were you like 5 years old and like I want to be a girl wrestler?
I actually started in 8th grade. So my brother, he wrestled, and he was at his PB state tournament, and I was like, I want to be there. And Brandon came up, and he's like,
So
"Do you
you're
wanna wrestle
older
me?"
than the brother, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
He's my younger brother. And then I met McKenna, and I was like, I want to be like her.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, very, very cool. So so you're telling me that you have kind of a full girls team now.
Yeah.
And that's happened like quickly.
Yes,
Very
very quickly.
When I joined, like all of them, actually, I recruited most of them from my volleyball team.
Okay.
So we all played volleyball together, and I was like, I'm doing wrestling, and they're like, I'm not doing that, and I was like, just come to practice. So that's how most of our girls today have went and been with me since my 8th grade year.
Yeah, because so volleyball would be like a fall sport, and then wrestling's a winter sport. So it
Yes.
keeps you guys moving.
Well, I just do wrestling now. but
Okay.
I do summer and
I would think that would be year round because I know you guys travel a
Yeah.
lot during the summer. So let's talk about that, like your summers. And I know every wrestling tournament that you all are in is not like school sanctioned,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about that. Like in the off season, school season, what do you guys do?
So mine's a little different, I'd say. And like my past, like this year has been a lot different than any other year. So I was lucky enough to get to go out to Oklahoma for national team duels. And then I also got to go out to Fargo, North Dakota, where I think that's a big mindset thing. And I was not in the right mindset there. And so I ended up getting 5th, which it's obviously a really, really big accomplishment. But definitely I underperformed, and that was all kind of in my head. I could have done a lot better, but I was just mentally not there. And I think that's a big part that people don't understand about wrestling is it's a lot goes into it. But then right before season started, I was fortunate enough with Brandon to have him help me and get me to go to Missouri Valley. It's a college open out there, and it's like known to be the best college open of the year.
Okay.
So I was fortunate enough to get to drive out there and get to go wrestle against all the college girls.
Okay. And how did that go?
I ended up winning the tournament and teching everybody there, so not bad.
So it went okay.
Not too bad, yeah.
You know, and I think it's interesting because I watched a match or so from the tournament where you said you weren't mentally there, and I could see I don't know, just in talking with you and kind of knowing you now, I could see the frustration, and I don't know what was going on that in the match that I watched, but
Yeah.
it was not, you.
Yeah. That's what everybody kind of looking at it from that knows me from an outside perspective. They're like, it just wasn't you.
You look tired, I think.
And I think like a lot, like I love the sport of wrestling just because it's kind of my getaway from all reality. Like, it's what I can control. It's my, like, I know.
love that you're
Yeah.
saying that.
And so, like, wrestling has always been kind of my escape. And, like,
Sure.
wrestling's hard, but if I can do it and I can make weight and I can show up to 6 a.m. practices and I can help support the other girls on the team, I know I can do anything in life. And so I've really been lucky in that aspect. And, like, Brandon, again, but he's like, okay, listen, you may not be ready. He was like, but you're going to go run. You're going to go do this. And so I think, like, if I can do that, what can I not do? And I think I put myself in a really bad situation and just getting out of that and just like, okay, I'm better than this. I'm bigger than this.
You
So-
know what, though? Sometimes we need humbled in this world.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
It's like a gift.
I don't think like without everything that's happened, I wouldn't be who I am. So I wouldn't change anything, but it definitely has been some hard times.
Yeah, sure. But you, you both have worked so hard and, are overcoming some of that stuff. So did you learn the signature walk up and slap the girl upside the head from this one?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. Do you do it?
Yeah, like every match and a lot in the wrestling room.
I wish we had a video of that. That would be awesome. But no, and again, that's that mental thing of psyching everybody out. The referees don't think it's as cute as we do.
No, they don't.
No,
But, whatever.
I've gotten in trouble a lot for it.
They're like, don't do that. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So cute, though.
Yeah.
Look at me. So, what are you? What are you planning to do? This is your senior year, and oh my God, it's almost. You think about, and your sophomore year is almost over. As we have passed all the holidays and all that coming up. Believe it or not, if you look at the weather, there is spring coming. And then graduation and all that. So, what does the future hold for McKenna? What do you think?
Well, I want to continue my wrestling career, and I've been really fortunate to get to visit a lot of schools and meet some really great coaches and just get to travel and see all these colleges. I'm not really sure exactly where I want to go, and I'm still going to probably go visit a couple more schools,
Okay.
but I think we've kind of narrowed it down and we're starting to figure it out, but there's still a lot of great opportunities that are out there and some that are just now opening up too with like stuff passing. So we're just kind of a waiting game there a little bit, but definitely a lot of great opportunities. So, yeah.
Yeah, and with this whole what is it, NIL or whatever it is, where you can actually get some sponsorships
Yeah.
and things like that now that can help you get to your goals. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, all this stuff's expensive.
That's true.
Traveling's expensive, and people are like, "Oh, it's wrestling. Like it's just you. It doesn't. What does it cost?"
Yeah.
But you want to address that?
I've been very fortunate. Like my dad, he helps me a lot, and Brandon helps me a lot get to places I need to go and all the things I need. And especially when it comes to summer wrestling, because it's all you. Like
Yeah, it's not the school. You
No.
don't get on
The
a
school.
school
No.
bus and they make sure you get there.
but Brandon and my dad have really helped me with that.
Very good. Oh, Brandon's all right. We'll keep him. So, do you guys? Let's talk about girl stuff for a minute. Like, I know that you think of wrestling and you think of like guys and whatever, and you girls. Is it hard to be a girl wrestler? Is it? And sometimes you have to wrestle boys, right?
I think I don't know how to really explain it, but like growing up, I was the only girl on my school team. And I would travel a lot, and we are really lucky now that we have an official state tournament. We're with the boys.
Yes.
We have all of these amazing things that have just now started, for the past 2 years. So, Ohio, we kind of jumped on the train really fast, luckily. So we have great opportunities there.
So Ohio's kind of like a leader in
Yeah.
girls wrestling.
I would say
That's
that
awesome.
we're one of the bigger ones, and we have a lot of. Ohio's done a lot for us, and we get to wrestle with the boys at the Schottenstein Center, which is an amazing deal. It's an amazing environment, and so we are so fortunate for that. But growing up, where I started so young, I've been doing it 15 years now, which is hard to believe. So, like, I was the only girl on my school teams, on my club teams. And so I got to wrestle in boys' tournaments, which I am beyond thankful for because I don't think.
That would teach you a lot.
Yeah, I don't think I would have the mental toughness or be as tough as I am now, or maybe even love the sport as much as I do now. But growing up, I kind of wanted to fit in there, so I like dressed more guyish and wore like these baggy clothes. And
I've seen
so
pictures.
it's bad.
Oh my God! Why did you not bring some?
I have some on my
pictures?
phone, but
Oh.
they were bad. And so but like now that I'm older and like I love doing my hair and makeup now. Like I love to dress up and get all dolled up. So I think it's definitely changed.
You know, and that's, I guess that's kind of the point that I wanted to bring out is that, and I think we all laughed way back when you had like won the state tournament and then went to like homecoming or sweetheart or something. And I'm like, okay, here she is, like, you know, in her wrestling stuff and whatever. And then coming home, you had to get changed really quick and become, you know, this girly girl. So is that like is it hard? Is it challenging? Because, I mean, let's just be honest. You girls are really, really pretty and girly. And so it's like then you're bad A's on the mat. So it's awesome.
I think that getting ready is just like, there's two sides. There's your wrestling side, and then there's you. And I don't know. It's just like a switch. Like it just flips. When you're on the mat, you're on the mat. When you're not, you're not.
Okay.
But back to the wrestling boys. I loved wrestling boys. I did in middle school.
Cool.
But now that, like, I obviously weigh more than Mac, so boys in my weight class are very muscly, and it's just not a fair match.
I see.
Yeah. I think, like, where I'm 106, I mean, I'm not worried about, like, obviously there's times here and there that it's like, okay, I can't even do anything. They're too big. But, like, I'm still, like, yesterday we had our senior night, and so, like, I wrestled a boy there. And then this weekend I'm going to our boys tournament, wrestling with our boys. And then next weekend we're at a really big tournament in West Virginia. It's called WSAZ. It's a really big one. And so I get to wrestle boys there, too. So I do a little bit of both still.
I'm not gonna wrestle boys because in my weight, most of them, like, I can lift all I want and I enjoy lifting, but I'm never gonna look like the boys do.
Yeah.
And I've tried, like, even I practice with the boys, like we both do, and they just out-muscle me in practice, and it's just not a good idea.
But it's also good, you know, sometimes it's humbling, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But also it's good to know that, you know, that's probably the worst it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because there's probably not a girl out there that's going to be as
No.
strong and tough as they are. So
That's why I really enjoy practicing with boys, because
Yep.
you get to, like, when you wrestle and practice with a boy every day, it's just like two different worlds, and it's way easier when you get on the mat and you're wrestling a girl, because if you have your technique down, then muscle doesn't matter.
okay. Very good. So, okay, here's a question for you. Girl question.
Okay.
Have you guys had to wrestle any boys that you've like dated or had a romantic interest with?
I have not. I don't know. I've never had to, like, I kind of stay
That would
away
be
from.
hilarious.
I kind of stay away from the whole, like, if they're, like, kind of even close to my weight class or anything, I kind of stay away from it.
No.
Okay. Would that be weird?
I don't know about weird, because I feel like I get in such a mentality, like, I don't care who you are. Come in front of me, I'm wrestling you. But I think maybe a little weird, but I don't think it'd be too big of a deal.
It would be even more fun if you beat him, right?
That's a fact,
Very.
yes.
Like, buddy, I just schooled you, so. Well, very good. So tell us the road to the state. Like, from here today, how do we get to the state tournament again?
So is it pre-regionals or sectionals this year?
I think sectionals, but I
So-
could be completely wrong. But
With,
I'm just here.
yeah, with boys,
You do what Brandon says,
Yeah.
right?
That's very true. I just show up and have a good
Yeah.
time.
That's exactly what I do. Like, half the time I have no idea where we're going. I just go. But with girls, they call it pre-regionals. It's just like sectionals for boys. And then there's regionals, which is like districts for boys, and then that determines if you're going to state or not. So you have to place 4th or higher, and then
Okay.
depending on what you place at those pre-regionals and regionals or sectionals and districts is your seeding for state. So say you got 4th, you're going to wrestle the number 1 seed, which is like,
From another district. So
Okay.
there's like, there'll be like 4 that are like 1 seeds, 4 that are,
yeah,
because there's like
So
4.
same as like basketball
Yeah.
tournaments
Yeah.
and all that.
It's a 16-man bracket at state.
yeah.
Okay. And then, so I know Madeline, in talking with you maybe last year, the coach, I can't remember, but I think, and you just admitted it here, that you kind of got in your own head last year at the state tournament. What would you do different? Like, what do you think? Or how do you build that, like, confidence? Like, you know, like Pitch Perfect, you find it here and here. Or what do you do?
I feel like I definitely did get in my head. I didn't wrestle, I didn't perform how I wanted to. And that was really hard for me because like state, like that's all I wanted to go. Like I won my regional and I was like, man, I'm going to go and I'm going to like place at this. And I went, I did not do that. It was bad.
I don't listen. You were wrestling at the state tournament as a freshman. There's nothing
Yeah.
bad about that. Like that's awesome. But
I had goals even when I first came in that I wanted to be the best wrestler that could be in a short amount of time because I started so late. So that's why I wrestle in summer and do all that. But
Okay.
to get ready for wrestling, I'd say I really just enjoy being around my friends and like not like distractions because like they are distractions, but it helps get you like out of your own head a lot.
sure,
And
which is kind of what you said too.
because I get like when I'm alone, like I need somebody there with me to wrestle, like either my brother or my friends or even Mac, like just being there, them being there with me, it helps me get on my head.
Yeah. Okay. So when you go, we're gonna say when you guys go to the state tournament because you know we're just gonna say that you are. How do you support each other? Do you help each other get ready, or is it you're kind of like, oh God, I'm like doing my thing?
I think it's obviously a bit of both. I mean, definitely like good practices, good training partners, good workouts, definitely like supporting each other, being like, hey, like you need to do this. Like make sure you look out for this. But it's also okay, I got to get ready for my own match. I have to lock in here. Like I have to know what I need to do too. But I also want to support them. So it's like kind of like a bit of both, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's points like everyone knows when to leave you alone and when to not leave you alone.
I get that. Yeah.
So I think that's a big deciphering factor there because you have to be there for your teammates, but if you're about to be on a mat, like you should be at your mat. Like you shouldn't be over there.
Yeah.
But warming up, we warm up together, and then when your match is about to start, that's when we kind of break off.
Okay. Do you is it kind of like I don't know, football or basketball? Do you like scout the people that you're gonna wrestle, or you like watch video and stuff like that, or do you just kind of know through the grapevine what their techniques are? And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kick
no,
you.
you're fine.
I think
I
a
told
good
you I was a pincher, not a kicker.
You're fine.
I think a good bit of the time, like, I'll watch some film, especially, like, in the bigger matches, like, referring back to how I went to Missouri Valley to wrestle in a college open, like, especially for the finals match, like, I kind of knew what she was going to do, and, you can look at film and break it down, and Brandon is, like, really good at studying film, so, like, I have, like, text where he's like, okay, look, and it'll be, like, an essay of what this girl's gonna hit, and so, like, he's really good at that, and he's really good at studying the sport of wrestling, which may not make sense, but, like, if you know wrestling, like, there's a lot of different little bits and pieces about it, and he's really good at studying it and then sharing it. So, like, I can watch film kind of well, but I'm, like, especially for bigger tournaments, he kind of helps me break it down a lot.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of film that you can watch and stuff.
And do you find that like people wrestle the same? Like, do you guys take on every opponent and use the same moves and stuff like that? Do you have like signature moves like the Stone Cold Stunner?
Yeah.
I'd say I know that I think that every wrestler should go into every match wanting to hit what they want to hit. Like everybody has their move.
You have a game plan
Yeah.
of what you want to do to
Yeah.
that person.
So first thing should always be your moves, and then like obviously like knowing what they will do will help, but it should always be your match.
So you want to be in control of what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Like you have certain moves that you're better at than others, and you know like I'm not gonna hit this because it's not gonna go well. But then there's other moves where you're like, okay, I'm really good at this, and I know I can win with this.
A lot of wrestling though as well, it's like a feel. Like you have to have a feel of the sport. Like it sounds really weird the more you say it, but like if I feel something happen, it's my reaction that really counts. Cause like
Yeah, and you have to think on the fly pretty fast,
yeah,
right?
So it's really just like the feeling of it. It's weird.
Well, I would think that what you get into sometimes would be like really fast problem solving. Because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm in a compromised position that I didn't think I was going to get into. How am I going to get out of it?
Yeah.
It's more like a flow type thing. I'm still learning how to do it and getting used to like just working through positions and not giving up points.
Makes total sense. So what do you think you've learned the most over the past year?
Definitely just to keep moving. Like if when you stop moving, they're probably gonna get points.
Okay.
So it has to be consistent.
Okay. Did you learn how to strut around like this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I just think it's so cool that you girls can be so girly girl and just so bad A on the mat. Like that is just such a cool transition.
I think that's a really big part that's helped us get a full team too. Because, like, I know every year at the beginning of the year, Brandon puts together this big slideshow and he sends it to the school. So, like, that's really, like, been a key aspect in, like, getting all the girls we have. Is, like, Brandon has really, like, and, like, I think he's mentioned this before, but, like, getting hair done and dinners, which girls love to dress up. It's just a normal thing.
Yes.
Like, we like to look good, do our hair and makeup. So he's really allowed us to do both and to really show both sides of it, which has really helped bring in the numbers.
And I think that that's been a learning curve for him because, you know, he had to worry about dudes, and dudes
Yes.
don't worry about that so much. So I think that was kind of one of his challenges
Yeah.
is realizing that you guys want to be girls
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
and be bad at A's.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. That's very, very cool. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell our viewers before we let you get out of here for the day? I know that, you know, we thank you so much for coming in. I always learn something when y'all come in, and I think it's just so neat what you're doing for the sport of wrestling and what Brandon's doing for girls wrestling and boys wrestling here in our area, and, you know, all the other local teams too. Are there other local girls teams?
Our FAC, we have, like, just our league, we have a really good bit of girls. I know, like, Washington Courthouse has a full girls team. Warren's not in our league, but they do really good things there. And, like, they beat us at our home tournament, so it kind of sucks.
Uh-oh.
But they have great coaches up there that have really helped them, too. And, like, they have a full girls team. I know Chillicothe has, like, 7 middle school girls now. So, like, they're getting numbers up there, too. So it's growing. It's becoming a really big thing. So
And girls wrestling is definitely changing. It's not like watching a Pee Wee match and really boring anymore. Like they're starting to progress and learn more. So it's becoming more interesting and more competitive.
Here's the one thing that I will tell you that I've known for 100,000 years, and girls are scrappy.
yes,
Very.
And, you know, I don't know why we get ran, but we do. And, you know, dudes just wrestle and then they get over it, whatever. We're like fiery.
yes, that is true.
It's an attitude thing. I just kicked you
No,
again.
you're fine.
I think we all got long legs. That's the problem.
Not me.
all
I'm
3
like
foot
a-
2 of her.
Yeah, I'm like a solid 2 foot tall.
Well, I think you do a lot with that little body. How's that? All right. Well, we want to thank you girls for coming in this morning and, you know, telling us about your stories. And we hope that we have you back here pretty soon being state champions. How's that?
Yes,
Sounds
I'd
good.
love that. Thank you so much for letting us come on.
Of
I really
course.
appreciate it.
Of course. course. See, that wasn't so bad, was it?
No.
See, I told you, hanging out with me is not all that bad.
No, it's not.
Okay, thanks.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I thought you were my friend. All right. Well, we do have another message. And then I think our friend Jade's going to come over. We're going to talk to her because she is going to be filling in for me as I have a couple of conventions and things that I have to go to here pretty soon. So Jade got voluntold to be Jen. So how's that? All right. We'll be right back right after this.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are here with our good friend Jade, and I don't know if they've met you officially here on the program.
I don't think they have.
But you are going to be filling in a little bit for Jen while I'm traveling around and doing a few things that I have to do for my other job.
Yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a senior in high school in the Eastern District. I am planning on majoring in communications, and honestly, what made me want to major in communications is this job specifically. I didn't know what I was going to do for the longest time, and I started this job back in the summer as a street team member. I don't know if you guys heard of that. You probably have. But
so kind of as the intern program.
Yeah, I started as an intern, and I was just like, wow, I actually really like this. And I went around on fairs, talked to people all the time, interviewed people, and I was like, this is really fun. And then Dylan offered me a job as a camera operator for football games, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then, I mean, it's all been up from there. I genuinely love doing this, and I feel like I'm going to thrive in communications once I get there.
So it's so funny because Dylan's like, hey, because I told him, I was like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I've got like 2 places to be in like within 2 weeks. And he's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then I come in one day, he's like, hey, I think I've found like young Jen. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm just telling you, you guys are like 2 peas in a pod. And he said you're both dingy. He did say that. And I said,
Okay.
well,
In a good way.
Okay, in a good way.
I don't know that I'm going to go down that path with you, buddy. I thought we were friends, but no, I got to meet Jade, and you are just a sweetheart, and your passion is infectious, so that's good. But is it hard though? You know, you're working and you're balancing school, and she went prom dress shopping the other day.
Did. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. It's my last prom. But I feel like I have it a lot. I feel like my schedule is a lot more bendable and flexible because ever since the beginning of high school and the middle of middle school, I was put into a online school, and partly because of COVID, but ever since then I've honestly really liked it because I've been able to do more extracurricular activities, because for a while throughout middle school and high school, I was a dancer and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu student. Very drastically different.
Yeah.
Very, very weird. But yeah, it was a crazy upbringing, but it was a lot easier for my schedule just to be online because I could just focus on extra stuff I wanted to do.
Sure.
And then once I started this job, I was telling Dylan, I was just like, honestly, I can just genuinely be in whenever because I can do school pretty much whenever I want. And so it's a lot easier and it's a lot more flexible to balance school and work. It's very fortunate. I was in a very fortunate position for that, and I'm very thankful. But it's honestly, I feel like it can be difficult sometimes because, I want to be the best worker I can, but I also need to prioritize school, and especially since college is coming up, I was really trying to focus on those SATs and the ACTs. Oh my goodness. For upcoming juniors, good luck. I did not like it personally, but
I get that.
but
Those standardized tests suck.
I'm not. I get so stressed under them. I don't know why. I'm just like, guys, do not put me under the spot.
Some people are good test takers and some people aren't. And
I'm a I'm a stressful test taker.
I get it.
I don't like being timed. It's just scary. but yeah, I feel like overall I have a pretty flexible schedule, so I don't stress too much about it. I overall handle it pretty well. Nothing too crazy.
So you have to be, to do an online high school, you have to be pretty motivated and a self-starter because you could just sit around and lounge and do nothing.
Yeah, it's sometimes it does get really hard because since you can really like do it whenever you want most of the time, it's really just like, oh, it's so easy to put it off.
Because I'm a procrastinator, so I know that I would be doing that.
It's so easy to put it off, and I will admit I have probably too many times, but I have learned that I feel like it really helps build my motivation and my drive. I really think that it helps me learn not to procrastinate.
Yes.
Because I try to have a nice, decent set schedule so I don't just put it off and have so many overdue assignments. A lot of people aren't built for school like that. I don't blame them.
It would be hard. I would.
A lot of people worry about like social interaction, but I feel like I really get a lot of social interaction at work, and I have friends literally everywhere. So I'm always seeing them, and plus, honestly, I can see them a lot more because of it.
Yeah.
So I don't really worry about that too much. I feel like I'm a pretty social person, but yeah, I feel like back to the subject, it really helps me not procrastinate because it is so easy to. So over the years, I've just learned that I just like gotta lock in on it.
Yeah, makes total sense. Well, Pete's here to do news, but I did want to ask you, what are some of the fun skills that you have learned since you started over the summer here at Total Media? On the street team and now kind of as a staff member, what are some of the things that you've learned and how has it helped you grow?
I've really, as much as a social butterfly as I was before I started, I feel like I've became my communication has become a lot stronger with people. I feel like my rapport and chemistry with people has become a lot more like intense and serious. I feel like I'm able to be more serious because before I was a very like class clown type friend. I feel like I took a lot of things in a joking term, and I feel like going into the street team, I really learned what it is like to be professional but also have fun while you're doing it and not take everything so seriously, but also be serious when you need to be. I've learned a lot more tech stuff, actually. I was not a tech-savvy person before. I barely knew how to turn on and off a computer. I'm totally kidding. But, like,
You certainly didn't know how to hook up camera equipment.
No,
and all that, right?
I didn't. I learned how to hook up camera equipment. I learned how to use professional cameras, and I learned how to use computers and set up streams. And I also learned how to board op, which is such a great job. I actually really enjoy board opping. And plus, it does give you some street cred when your friends are like, "Oh, what is your job?" And you're like, I work with the radio. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
just
work
feel
at
like
the radio station.
It
You're like,
gives you some
cool.
street cred. It gives you some street
It
cred.
does.
And honestly, this being my first job, I am forever thankful for it.
Very good. Well, we're thankful for you. We're thankful
Thank
that you
you.
spent your morning with us today, and I am thankful for you to cover my rear end when when I'm gone a couple of days, and so thank you for that. And you'll be kind of doing some hosting here, and just have fun with it.
I'll make sure to.
Okay. All right. Well, our good friend Jade here, and thank you. And I think Pete Wilson's over in the wings. Do you have anything exciting to talk about today?
We'll find out.
I guess we're going to find out. So I think we have a weather forecast and another message, and we'll be back with Pete Wilson after that.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
Hey everybody tuning in for Main Street TV. I am Jolene Villarreal, as you may or may not know. I am an editor here at Total Media. I have done some weather updates for you guys, as well as Main Street TV best of videos and substitute host every once in a while. Now, I've got a weather forecast here for you guys today, so let's go ahead and kick it off. Thursday, January 23rd, which was yesterday, we had a high of 32, and a low of 10 degrees with a cloud coverage throughout the day and some light flurries. Now, today, which is Friday the 24th, we have a high of 25 and a low of 11 with a 10% chance of flurries throughout the day. As for tomorrow, Saturday, we have a high of 40 and a low of 28. And that's going to be much better than, the previous days where we'll be all cold throughout the day. So, but don't let that get to your head. Because on Sunday, we're right back down to 36 degrees as our high and 22 as our low. With just some heavy cloud coverage throughout the day. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe, stay warm, have a great time.
All right, and hey, we have an official weather person now.
Well, how about that?
Isn't that wild?
My gosh, Total Media, Main Street TV just keeps moving up the ladder.
Look at us go.
That's right. By the end of the year, who knows what's going to be going on.
You
here.
never know. But we do have an official news person here in the studio today. Our good friend Pete Wilson is here with your red shirt on.
Right. Ball game tonight
I figured.
on the road. Second straight game on the road that we've done. This is Jackson Ironman boys basketball. They will be at Greenfield McLean tonight. The Ironmen continue to have a good season. Beat Chillicothe on the road. You remember by 2 points last Friday. And they'll be back in action tonight at Greenfield McLean. And that game, we covered the home game several weeks ago. That was one where Jackson got way ahead at halftime. Greenfield came back, had a chance to win at the end, but missed a shot. And Jackson, so it's going to be tight there.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson one game behind the first place team who has not lost. So therefore, no losses are allowed if you want to have a chance for even a share of the championship.
Correct.
So we'll see what happens there.
Keep it up.
All right. Of course, lots of other basketball and streaming going on Total Media. Just check the schedule. All right. In Saturday's paper, Jennifer, we are going to have some more detailed reports about the fires that have hit.
Woo.
We've talked about them here on Main Street
Been a
TV.
lot.
At least the fact that they happened. We didn't have all the details then. We couldn't share them until we got them. We've got them now. Jeremiah Shaver's fingers are burning on the keyboard right now.
I'll bet.
But we'll be able to give you more information about particularly 2 fires in Oak Hill that were very destructive on Zane Oak Road and on East Main Street. We showed you some photos of that East Main
Scary
Street
stuff.
fire. So we'll be wrapping all those up. Quite likely all those fires, or most of them, a consequence of the low temperatures through different factors. So we'll be wrapping all that up, as well as the other winter-related news that happened earlier in the week in Saturday's paper. Unfortunately, we had a tragedy in the next county, Gallia County, and it's tragic enough. We'll tell you about it here in Jackson County. This occurred yesterday afternoon, just afternoon, 12:32 p.m. on State Route 7, southern Gallia County, near the Lawrence County line, about 3 miles north of the Gallia County line. An ODOT salt truck driving on State Route 7 turned left into the salt depot, where it was either going to get more salt or was finishing its work. Anyway, it happened to turn in front of an SUV. It struck the SUV that was coming the opposite way. 2 people in that SUV were killed.
Oh, man.
So just, I guess that's indirectly, weather related, because the salt truck wouldn't be out if we didn't have this horrible weather. But this did not affect any Jackson or Vinton County folks, which, is our main coverage area. But the 2 people who were killed were 54-year-old Alan Nolan of Vinton, that's in Vinton in Gallia County, and a relative, I assume, his name was Larry Nolan. But both of those men were killed at the scene. The salt truck driver did suffer minor injuries and was taken to St. Mary's Regional Medical Center in Huntington, West Virginia. That crash under investigation by the Gallipolis Post of the Highway Patrol. Do not forget that some of our warming centers that we've had are winding down a little bit.
Yeah.
But as our weather guy just said, it's
Yes.
still going to be a little bit cold. But we know that the warming center in Vinton County, which is at the MacArthur Fireman's Hall, will go until 9 a.m. on Saturday. The Life Source Apostolic Warming Center, which is a nighttime, overnight center only, that will go until Saturday. So tonight would seem to be the last night for that, as far as we know. During the day, today, maybe even tomorrow, whenever the Jackson Family Activity Center is open, that can be a warming center. It's open, if you go for that reason, they'll let you in, they want to help there. And then the Liberty Baptist Church Gymnasium down on Bingham Street in Oak Hill, it was to be open at least through Thursday. I don't know whether it's open today, but if you need help, you can contact the pastor there or the church. And my guess is if they can accommodate you, they will. They were earlier in the week.
Sure.
All right. Okay, we'll do a crime story now. This was another recent action initiated by the Probation Department of the Jackson County Municipal Court.
Okay.
Now, they have the right to, do some searches and do some things that law enforcement can't do on the front end because of a probation situation. You lose some of your rights,
Yes,
basically.
you do.
When, they can do a random search on you or even a probable cause search if they think that you're violating your probation. A lot of times, frankly, these are done when they suspect or know about criminal activity. It's just not a checkup. But anyway, one of those situations, I guess you could say, occurred recently in Oak Hill on State Route 93. Peyton Jenkins and Jonathan Morgan, we have their pictures, both of Oak Hill were arrested. As a result of their arrest, a stolen handgun was also recovered from the residence. Jenkins and Morgan were both wanted for probation violations issued by the Jackson County Municipal Court. Those, I believe that is Morgan there. The first picture we showed up was Peyton Jenkins. They were arrested on Friday, which was one day after the search. They are being held at no bond pending a future hearing. Jackson County Municipal Court Judge Mark Music did put out this sidebar with the news of those arrests. He remains committed to public safety and enforcing orders of the court. When probation is violated, court personnel will use all resources to ensure that violators are apprehended and brought to justice. He also says those who are battling addiction can contact the court for help.
Absolutely right.
Obviously, there is an implied link there between drug activity, whether it's drug use or drug trafficking, with probation violations and committing crimes.
Yep.
I remember one time a law enforcement officer told me, and I don't know whether this is still correct or not, I don't know how scientific his stats were, but he was a veteran law enforcement officer. He felt that 90% of crime is related to drug use.
I would say, I don't know, but that doesn't surprise me.
All right, well, last night, one of the things we always do, Jennifer, we would try to report the highlights to you. We cover the public affairs meetings, the city councils, the school board meetings, or whatever, and let you know what's going on there. Sometimes, frankly, the public doesn't seem to care unless there's something that they're interested in or there's some controversy. But we always want to let you know what's going on at these public affairs meetings and when they meet and when they don't meet. And last night, Jeremiah Shaver was prepared to add some hours to his workday and cover the Wellston City Council meeting. They had to cancel that due to a lack of a quorum. They knew ahead of time that they weren't going to have, you have to have at least a majority of your members there for Wellston Council. That would be 4 out of 7. They knew they couldn't. So it wasn't where they showed up and said they couldn't meet. They knew ahead of time, so they canceled it. I used the wrong word. Cancel and postpone are
Postpone.
not the same thing.
Yes.
Cancel, you're not going to do it again. Postpone means you're going to do it later.
Yeah.
They're going to do this meeting on Monday night now at 7
Okay.
o'clock. So that is a rescheduled meeting of Jackson City Council. Okay, we want to tell you about a neat new program, a partnership between the Jackson County Veterans Service Office and the Jackson County Recorder's Office, and this will benefit local veterans in Jackson County. This is a new identification card system that you can get free of charge if you're a veteran. These are some of the principles involved. Alex Shope, who does a very good job on some of these more complex stories, wrote about this, and that story's posted, if you want to go back and look at it on the Telegram's website or on Facebook. What it is, you can go into the recorder's office in the courthouse, that's up on the top floor, and you can get your picture taken, and then you get a card. And that card relates to some documents that you're always supposed to have as a veteran. So you don't have to be carrying around paperwork or whatever. It all translates to this card.
That is super cool.
Right, and that is Krista Brown, our recorder on the left. That is Mr. West, the 100-year-old veteran. He had the honor of getting the first VA, or not the VA, Veterans Identification Card. You have Scott King, the congenial Veterans Service Officer for Jackson County,
Yes.
and you have Jackson County Commissioner Paul Haller, who was involved in this. Not only is he a proud veteran of the United States Navy, he worked with some legislators at the state level to make this program possible. Now, the counties and local places had to make it happen, but the legislation had to be in place ahead of time so you could do it. But this Veterans ID effort, Veterans ID identification, if you're a veteran, this would behoove you to go ahead and do this. It doesn't cost you anything. I think it's
That's
a pretty
cool.
seamless process. You can call the Veterans Service Office at 286-30-004. Talk to Scott King or Jennifer Pittman down there about it if you want to know about it. Or you can just go to the recorder's office during the regular courthouse hours. But this is a big step forward for veterans. Hey, we also want to, sometimes we don't pay enough attention, the public doesn't know enough about the people who run our Buckeye Hills Career Center and the Vocational School Board down there. They are just going
Sure.
great guns down there.
Oh, my
With
goodness,
all the
yes.
programs, the career-oriented programs that are very relevant and practical for a lot of students now. It's more popular than ever, and they have a school board there just like they do in our local school districts. For the Gallia Jackson Vinton Vocational School, the high school known as the Buckeye Hills Career Center, there is a board. And they met earlier this month for a organizational meeting and for a regular monthly meeting. And we want to tell you who those people are. And we have their picture there, if Jimmy can find it. We'll tell you who they are. Gallia Jackson Vinton Joint Vocational School Board, GJV. Okay, good deal. There we are. Those folks are from the Vinton County Local School District, the Wellston City School District, the Jackson City School District, the Oak Hill School District, the Gallipolis City School District, and the Gallia County School District. And from the left, because these people deserve credit for their service, you have Mike French of Oak Hill. You have Robert Cornwell. He's from Gallia County. Marianne Hell of Vinton County. You have Pat McDonald of the Jackson City School District. Lynn Angle of Gallia County. Brian Moore of the Jackson City School District. Beth James, also Gallipolis or Gallia. John Jackson of the Wellston City School District. And Terry Halley of the Gallia County School District. They usually meet on the second Wednesday of each month. And we cover their news as well. They basically send us a report about their board meetings. So I want to give those people credit
That's
as well.
awesome.
I know we mentioned School Board Recognition Month for all the school boards a little earlier on Main Street TV. All right, want to remind you real quick as we're running out of time, there is a food distribution event at the Vinton County Fairgrounds. It is for Vinton County residents only. It's done by the SEO Ohio Food Bank. They are out of Logan. They serve a number of counties in the area. Fresh produce and other food items will be available. That's 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. today. It is free. You have to be income eligible. Your income, your family income, household income has to be under 200% of the federal poverty guidelines. So you can show up there at the fairgrounds. You just have to be able to prove you're a Vinton County resident. And I'm not sure how they do the income proof, but be prepared to show that as well. Pre-registration is not required. A lot of times you have to go online earlier or call. You don't have to do that. You can just go. So there's still time to do it just now starting. A reminder, we talked about this Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes.
The toiletries giveaway at the Faith Lutheran Church off today because of the cold weather and also the condition of the parking lot.
Yep.
When they come up with a rescheduled date on that, they usually do it on the third Friday of each month. We'll let you know on that as well.
Okay.
So there you go. We are TGIFing.
Very good. And so, Pete, thank you for hanging out with us. You will be one of the voices of the Ironman tonight as you go on the road, right?
Right. I tell you what, we've got to give a lot of credit to Dan Morrow. He is, historically, you know, on our football and basketball broadcasts, he is the collar man, being an ex-player and coach, obviously
Sure.
very qualified for that. But in basketball, he becomes the play-by-play man, which is a little more difficult. You have to talk a lot more, and he has to keep his cool and poise while watching his son
I
be
know,
the
as
coach.
the coach.
Right. It was very hard, especially the first year for him, but he has mastered that. So I do want to give him a lot of credit.
Very
and I
good.
tell you what, it puts a heck of a lot of pressure on me because I've got to try to be not only the statistician, but the analyst, and nobody can analyze better than Dan Morrow.
That's right, absolutely. So, well, you all have a blast tonight covering the Ironman. Good luck to all of our local teams if you're out and about this weekend, and good luck to you. I will be out for a couple of days next week as I have a convention I have to attend. So, guess who is going to fill in? Our good friend John Pelletier will be here
Well, how about that?
the next couple of days. So I know that we're leaving this place in great hands.
Okay, well, I believe that he is a talker.
I believe he can handle it.
And you know what? He's been around a while, and he knows some things. And, you know, he retired from total media, but he's one of those guys who found a whole lot more to do
Yes,
even
he
after
did.
he retired from his regular job.
You're not kidding.
What a
And,
great guy.
But it's always good to have him back in the studio and back in the building because he is such a legend. So
Absolutely. I believe that's down the hall is the John Pelletier studio.
it is absolutely.
Right.
So John Boy will be in beginning part of the week. As I said, I have to go to a convention, and we appreciate him doing that. We do have some special guests. I know on Monday, I think Mark Carmen will be here, and Jordan Lombardo will be here talking about some fun things. So have a great weekend, everyone. We appreciate you so much. A little bit warmer weather, thank goodness. And I won't see you on Monday, but somebody, Mr. John Pelletier, will be here to fill in. So we thank him for that. So have a wonderful time, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Bye-bye.